This is World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber. World Awakenings is a podcast dedicated to opening your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how they play an all-important role in our daily life. So join Carl on this enlightening experience as he interviews metaphysical and spiritual experts to discuss, debate, and delve deeply into the hows and whys of this worldwide awakening.
Hey, this is the show World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment. I'm your host, Carl Gruber. Now, since 2018, this show has dedicated itself to exploring every aspect of all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening. And this continues to be our mission as we head into this episode number 233 with yet another amazing guest who is here to help us continue our exploration and expand our knowledge of all things that lay beyond our visible 3D ego-driven world. So sit back, strap on your seatbelt as we head off into a different universe of understanding. Now, first, I'd like to remind you that you can now not only watch this show on YouTube, but you can also see it on New Reality TV. So just head on over to newrealitytv.com to check it out. All right, off we go to meet our guest. On today's show, we meet Dr. Gretta Chamberlain. She is a doctor of naprapathic, if I can say that, naprapathic medicine, a healer, a channeler, and remote energy transformational specialist whose life work is guiding people back to unconditional love and self-creation. I love that. She's known for channeling the non-physical guides she calls the realm of beings, sharing practical teachings on oneness healing and the creation of reality. Not only is she an international lecturer and educator, she is also an incredible performance artist who has released a new album called In Silence, in which she performs spoken word with Danielle Heise, creating beautiful healing sounds on crystal bowls. And hopefully sometime during this show I'll be able to share some of that with you. So with that, welcome, Gretta.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, I appreciate this.
I'm
honored.
Oh, well, I am too. I'm just blown away by what you do. I mean, it's just incredible, and can't really wait to find out more about you. But if you're a doctor of naprapathic medicine, can you please tell us what that is and what led you to follow that path?
It's a medicine that works with the spine. It helps to alleviate pain, but at this point, I'm non-practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And work with different people with as far as if they've had spinal stenosis, different things like that, neck challenges. It's similar to chiropractic medicine, except it's not as aggressive as chiropractic medicine is. In other words, the techniques are very more simplistic in that they're not, we just don't push down on things like that. It's more gentle approach.
What
Mhm.
what led you to that career?
That is so funny that you asked me that question because I was studying clinical psychology. I
Mm.
was working on a doctorate in clinical psych. And when they took me into the college, I was interviewed by one particular clinical psychologist who was in transpersonal psychology as well.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me to her and they asked her to interview me because when I filled out the application, I told them uh, exactly what I do. And of course, that was very odd for them. So I heard that the first psychologist that got my application went back and threw it on the desk of the person who was heading up the finding the next set of students. And he said, "What am I going to do with this?" So then he gave it to another psychologist. She interviewed me for about an hour,
Mm.
and then she said, "You're grounded," because I think they thought I was crazy.
Uh-huh.
So, but she said to me, she said, "You might not really, really like being here because everything's in a certain way of thinking."
Hmm.
She was right. After my fifth year, can you imagine? I stayed in it for 5 years,
Wow.
and then I decided that I created not to be there. And then I asked, I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do now? Maybe I am supposed to go into transpersonal psychology." So I looked online and several places. I would lose so many of my credits,
Mm.
and then some of the classes on consciousness, I said, shoot, I can teach those classes myself. So why am I going to sit, in that? So I said, let me lay down. So I went to sleep and I went with the idea, show me where I'm supposed to be.
Hmm.
And when I woke up about 30 minutes later, it said, you're going into Naprapathic medicine. So I called the school. I made an appointment to meet with the president of the college. I filled out an application there, and I thought, okay, well, I'm getting ready to go back home, right? He said, oh no. He said, you go to class. So I hadn't even sent my transcripts or anything. He said, you go to class. I said, what class is it? He said, it's microbiology. I said, oh, okay. And off I went, and that's how I got there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
college is this?
It was the College of Naprapathic Medicine. It was located in Chicago.
Okay.
It's located somewhere else now in the hospital, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There's only one other college. It's out in New Mexico
Okay.
that teaches it. Yeah.
That's
Most
interesting.
people don't know about it. It's very
Yeah.
kind of hidden, like. Hmm.
Well, it sounds super interesting and very productive. Now, another thing about you, I understand that as a youngster, you experienced psychic phenomena. Can you please tell us about these experiences and how a young Greta evolved to become the person you are today?
Well, young Greta would have one of the things would be that I would tell my mother, I said, so and so is getting ready to die. That was the word I used then.
Mhm.
And I remember Mr. Lawrence, I must have been about 7 or 8 years old. I know I hadn't reached 10 yet. And all the children in the neighborhood, we loved Mr. Lawrence. He was such a sweet gentleman. We'd all run down to his place and talk to him, or we would even play in front of his house. And I told my mother, I said, Mom, I said, Mr. Lawrence is getting ready to die.
Wow.
She said, Greta. I said, yes. And about 2 days later, he had made his transition. So I developed knowing when people were coming to make their transition, and it went into stages. The first stage was that I just knew it. The
Hmm.
second stage was that I could see it. The third stage was that I would be there with the person, actually with the person wherever they were, and I could see that. Well, see, at that time I didn't understand what death was.
Hmm.
So as I'm growing older, I reached the stage of being able to be there. And one time, now I'm in my 20s, and I told my mother, I said, somebody's coming to die, and they're coming to die on a bridge. And I thought it looked like the bridge in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I said, the car is going to hit the column. You know how the bridges have columns.
Right.
And so I said, it's a woman. She's going to hit that, and the car is going to explode, and it's just going to burn. So, because I was there and I watched it. When
Oh,
you
wow.
talk about time, there's no time. Absolutely, there's no time because it takes about 2 or 3 days later, and then I'm aware of it. So I watched her. It was like I was standing on a hill and looking down at it, and I saw her run into the embankment. I saw the car explode. My mother got a call about a day later and from a friend of hers who was in California and told her that so and so just died, Vernicia. And it turned out to be a friend of my mom's
Oh my
who
gosh.
had passed. Yeah. So different things like that. So what it led to with me now, I take people to the transitional portal. Now, I know your audience would probably say, what is a transitional portal? The transitional portal, we have names for it like heaven,
Hmm.
Nirvana, different names for it. We just call it the transitional portal. So I escort people there that sometimes someone is getting ready to die, but they don't want to because they're afraid. So when I'm facilitating for them and I said, it's okay, I'll go with you. So I actually escort them there, leave them where they're going to evaluate this life that they've terminated and decide what lessons they want to learn or to continue to learn in the next transitional portal. So I do that. Sometimes once I was sent to the tsunami and I had to work with millions of people that had made their transition, and
Mm.
I did that. So I work with death quite a bit. Sometimes I'm taken, like I worked in 9/11. I'm sure a lot of uh, other people were there too. But I knew what my job was. I had to go into the rubble and work with the people that were in the process of making their transition and to work with those that had made their transition. Now, that's when they gave me the energy channel because prior to that, I would only work with people one on one.
Okay.
The tsunami was later. The tsunami was after 9/11, I think, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yeah. The one in Thailand, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and it incorporated all those kind of things. There were about 11 countries involved in
In
that, something
Japan too.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I worked there. So they send me, I'm given different tasks. So a lot of times it is to work with people who are making their transition. Sometimes people they'll call me and ask me to clean out their house. They think that there are ghosts there, which we call earthbounds.
Hmm.
So I will go and clean out somebody's house and send the earthbounds on. But the energy channel was used at 9/11, and that became significant for me because that was the point in time where I could work with groups of people, not just one on one, but groups. Because when you put the energy channel there, people are drawn to the energy channel and they go into it, and it takes them safely to the transitional portal. The
When
reason why I say safely, I saw that look on your face because if you're just moving around, you can be picked up by other species,
mm.
sentient beings, and they will take you into their portal. And if I know that, then that means I have to go into the portal and move you out of there. Hmm.
So when you say you escort people who are making their transition, does that mean when you do that, are you helping to reduce their fear of dying in the unknown and helping them to feel love more?
Yes, yes. Um, because I teach a class called Death by Design,
Mm.
and I talk about the whole transitional process. But one of the things is that um, people, when they die, sometimes people are afraid of death for various reasons, so they don't want to go. They've actually gone through the process now. The process is that you must lose your etheric bodies. And an etheric body is like a grid that maintains you here.
Mhm.
But every cell of your body, even the books behind you, have etheric bodies
Mhm.
because the etheric body assists the energy to maintain the shape and what you want it to look like. So that etheric body it's two ways you lose it. It becomes dismembered. In other words, I can look at a person in another reality, of course, that where I'm working and doing the assisting them in healing themselves and etc. I can see if your arm is missing, then I know that you're getting ready to transition out
Mm.
because there'll be a part of your body that's not going to be present. You could have an ear missing, and that'll let me know that you're getting ready. You've made the decision that you want to to transfer out of here. The other way is that you'll just fade, that I'll see the etheric body and it'll just fade and get lighter and lighter and lighter. And so with that, if that happens though, and I'm facilitating for you, because I always ask permission first.
Mhm.
I have to honor the person's creation of reality. So then I'm to put you back together again. And I actually do that. In other words, your arm is missing, I'm going to put your arm back. If your ear is missing, I'm going to put your ear back. And it'll hold you. But I always tell people, because usually it's a mother or a father, and they call me, can you help my mom? And I tell them, I said, she's checking out. And people usually know that because the person has been ill for a long period of time. So, then I tell them, I said, I'm going to put him or her back together. I said, but when they are ready and when they've reached that time that they've actually determined to go, then they're leaving. And I won't be around to stop it.
Mhm.
But other than that, we can keep them. We can keep the person here until they're really ready to check out.
Now, when you said you were like sent to the disaster of the tsunami and 9/11, do you mean you go there like an astral projection and work in the etheric realm with the people who have transitioned and help them?
Well, where I'm at now, Carl, is that when I first started doing this work, I was working in quote unquote dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And usually I would think, notice I said I would think that I was doing the work in probably the fifth dimension or the fourth dimension, mainly the fourth. I was standing in my kitchen, which has a high electromagnetic force to it, because I can be in my kitchen and see visions. I receive visions of things, and all kinds of stuff goes on in there in that kitchen, other than cooking. And the realm talked to me one day, and they just um, they said, dimensions are a human construction. And when they said that to me, I asked them when they take something away, I always ask them, what is the replacement? Okay, so you're telling me that dimensions aren't real. Okay, they're just for humans. I said, so what am I to take? What's going to take the place of it? And then they taught me reality. Like I know I had been working with creation of reality all along, but now they taught me what reality is. So when I go in to facilitate for somebody, let's say you have a heart challenge, then I will go in. I can go into your heart. I can work with all the cells in the heart. I can talk to them. They talk to me. I can fix it so that your heart is pumping well, you know. So that's kind of it. I don't know if I explained. I know one woman called me. She said my blood pressure is 200. She's one of my older uh, clients. In fact, we don't call them clients. We call them participants
Mm,
because we don't call them patients. We don't call them clients. We don't call them customers. We call them participants. Because when they come to me, I tell them, I want you to know I don't heal. You heal yourself.
right.
You're responsible for your own healing. What we do is that we support you in that healing. And I feel that I did not answer your question.
No, no, you did really, honestly, and that's very wise what you just said because it is true. We actually heal ourselves. I always have
Absolutely.
a phrase I use: "Heal yourself, and the world is healed with you."
Absolutely. Because you know what? That expression, I love that expression because it shows oneness.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
see, oneness. We're just not aware of it. When we come into this reality, it's composed of many, many. I tell people, if you put your index finger on your thumb and raise your index finger about maybe a quarter of an inch up, that space can have zillions of realities.
Mm,
Everything has a different reality, you see. So that's how I work now. So the work has gotten to be more sophisticated
yeah.
than what it used to be with me. Because the more I learn, the more they teach me. Dr. Irene Hickman, I went to her class. One of my mentors, Tahuti Sema, came to me and said, Greta, I think you're going to love, you got to come to this class and meet this woman. And I wanted to give him support. So I said, okay. It wasn't really a class at that time. She was just talking about the class, giving you a preview and to encourage you to come. And the class cost $300. At that time, I was a single mom,
Oh,
with a little kid, and $300 for me at that time was a lot of money, you
mhm.
know. And so I'm looking, oh man, I don't know if I can do that. If I've got, $300. And she talked about working remotely. And I'm going, wow. But something resonated with me. And I said, I gotta do this class.
Mhm.
So then robbed Peter to pay Paul type thing. So some of my bills didn't get paid, or I gave a little bit. So I accumulated my $300 and I stayed for 3 days with Dr. Irene Hickman, who has made her transition about maybe 10 or 15 years ago now. She was an osteopathic medical doctor, also a hypnotherapist. She was one of the first people that taught that you don't have to sit in front of the person to work on them,
Yeah.
that you can go anywhere. And a lot of people give her credit for that. So I spent 3 days with her at a hotel with 20 other people, and she taught us how to go remote. And she put us in groups of maybe 5 or 6 of us together. And so she said, well, now you all are going to go remote. Who wants to do it? And so we were in the group, and everybody was, in the group I was in, we were all looking at each other like I said, I don't think I want to be the first one to do this. So with my curious nature, I said, I'll go.
Uh,
I'll go. And at that time, we worked the way she trained us, you worked with another person who took you down into trance by counting from 1 to 25. And then the other person would tell you, I want you to go to, they would give you the address. And when you get there, we want you to do, such and such. So, okay. So one of the gentlemen wanted us to work on his son. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So everybody was glad because they were relieved, you know. And so we went through the whole, initiation of it. Now, Greta, you've got to go here because we protect us. She showed us how to protect ourselves first. Even the thought of saying you got to protect yourself means there's going to be something out there that you might not want to deal with. So he sent me there, and I said, wow, I'm in a hallway. I was standing in the hallway of his son's building and right next to his door. And he told me, he says, well, Greta, you've got to go inside my son's apartment. I said, oh, okay. And so you don't have to open up the door, you just walk right through, right?
Right.
So I walk right through and I'm standing in the apartment. He says, what do you see? Everybody's waiting, Greta, what do you see? And I saw these huge beings. They were all black. I remember that. And they were walking in his apartment. And I said, good gravy. They said, well, those are the ones you have to move out of there, Greta. So I remember going, oh my God. So I did whatever I was supposed to do and cleaned out his whole apartment. So that was my first time going
Wow.
remote.
Well,
Yeah.
and I know many Reiki energy masters, and they work remotely. They do distant Reiki healing, and it works. Yeah, they work that way, and yeah, so it doesn't
Absolutely.
surprise me. But wow,
Absolutely.
what an interesting story. Just to remind our listeners and viewers, we're talking to the amazing Dr. Gretta Chamberlain. Whoa, boy. Well, your life experiences have brought you to this point where you now speak about and teach oneness and nature of existence, creation consciousness. But now you are also a channel for a group called the Realm of Beings. Can you tell us about these beings and how it happened?
They've been with me since I was a little girl. Now I'm going to take you back to when I lived on 47th Street in my great grandfather's and great grandmother's house with my mom.
Hmm.
Old Victorian house, they have those long staircases up to the second floor.
Yeah.
Well, I realized when I would leave and I'd go down to the first floor, I'd hear, Greta, Greta. And I'm going, mm-hmm. So I'd run down because I figured if I run fast, I won't hear them. But I learned that they would catch me every time. So I'd wait at the bottom when I get ready to go to the second floor. I'd run up the steps, but I never quite made it. They always called my name,
Hmm.
you know. So that was the introduction, my first introduction to them. But I didn't realize it because I'm a child. All I know is I'm hearing voices you know, and I don't know how to explain it to my mom that I'm hearing these sounds. So I just didn't say anything. I just kept running, up and down the steps. And then when I went to Africa, I lived in Africa for 4 years in West Africa. I married a gentleman by the name of Mohammed Kumara. We were married for about 3 years, and then he made his transition.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. But he was very spiritual. And he taught me about going to what we would call psychics here to find out what's going to happen, quote unquote, what's going to happen. So I had never done that in the United States, but because I was with him, I found out that, many African people check out things first before they're going to do something, right? Or make a decision about something. They get spiritual assistance. So he introduced me to the seventh book of Moses. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Have
I
you
am
heard of
I
that?
am not.
Okay, I think the seventh book of Moses used to be a part of the Bible, but when they went through the Nicene Conference,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of things were taken out, so that was removed. But he showed me the book. It was a little thin book, and it had all kinds of pentagrams in it.
Really?
He said, you draw these, you can draw them in dirt, and then you stand in the middle and you conjure the spirit that goes with that particular, or what spirit you want to deal with. So that was my introduction to that. And I'm going, whoa. He said, but Greta, here comes curious Greta now, right? Okay. So I said, well, and I have to preface, this came before I met Dr. Irene Hickman. So I'm not doing the work yet. So I'm just getting exposed to a lot of psychic and paranormal experiences because I'm in Africa now. And he told me, it scared me though. He told me, he said, if you draw the pentagram or whatever sigil, they're called them sigils, that you want on the ground and you call the spirit, make sure you remember how to send them back. Otherwise, they're going to be quite upset with you.
Mm.
So that's all he had to tell me. I just said to myself, well, that is going to be something that I am not going to do. So, but I put it in my noggin. I tried it once and I'm looking around, okay, where are the spirits? Where are they? And, that was my realm of beings. I called on them. And then later on, they told me, well, we were there. You just didn't see us. I said, oh, doggone. But what happened, he would pass out.
Mm.
He would just pass out. I remember we were on the road, a dirt road, of course, and this is back in the 1970s, by the way. And I told him, I said, "You can't be passing out like that. I mean, we could be anywhere, and then I'm gonna look, and you're down on the ground, right?" So, and then he wouldn't remember anything. Okay, so now let's fast forward. Sleeping. I'm sleeping next to him, and I hear this voice come out of his mouth. Curious Greta, what is it? You know, and it had a deep male voice and said, introduced itself to me. And I'm saying, how do I know that you've been with me since I was a child? So they said, just ask me something. So this was something, and I have yet to tell anybody, so you just have to be curious about it. But I did something that nobody knows about. Nobody. So I told him, I said, okay, well, tell me that. What did I do? And he told me exactly what I did. So I said, "Oh my God, he's really right. He had to be with me as a child." And he said, "There are seven of us." He said, "Most people have one, but you have seven of us, and we're here to assist you." So that was my first introduction to them in Africa. Africa was not an easy place for me. I did not live as an expatriate because I was married to an African man. So I went through a lot of things, washing my clothes. I went there as a Peace Corps. I left the Peace Corps after about close to 2 years. That's your usual stint. I didn't complete it. I was a few months shy of it because now I was married. And I decided that I was going to live there. But it was challenging because my husband, as we went along, had several challenges that he had to deal with. But so now we moved from Sierra Leone, we moved to Liberia. And it was challenging the life with him because he wasn't well. He had a lot of mental challenges that I did not know about, but they were revealed to me as we spent time together. And so gold balls, they're only about 2 inches in diameter, came from the ceiling.
Wow.
and there were seven of them.
Mm.
Now remember, in Sierra Leone, they told me that there were seven of them. The one that I call my father, seven. So now here come seven balls, gold balls, and they're very, my frequency wasn't very high, so it sounded very slow and labored. Said, we have come to take you back. So that's how it sounded. And they were coming closer and closer. I was in a sleep state, but yet I was active. And I told them, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going with you. It just poured out of my mouth. I don't even know where it came from. I told them it's not time for me to go back. I've been given tasks and I'm going to finish the tasks that I've been given. When I'm through with the tasks that I've been given, then I will come. But I'm not coming. They tried three times, and then after the third time, they gave up.
Mm.
And so I'm still here. So that was my first introduction to them in a bodily form. But I think it was a different group, and I'll tell you why. I didn't know, I knew that I was connected to them. Um, when I came back to the United States, I had mentioned that to someone, and they told me, you're Arcturian. And I said, I'm what? They said, you're Arcturian. I said, well, what is that? I didn't know anything about Arcturian. And but then it started to resonate with me. And I'm going, wow, I look just like them. Right now, I'm in a physical body because I'm having a humanoid experience, but I also look like them. So I knew that I was one with them. And then I accepted the concept of being Arcturian. The only time I use it is when I'm doing the assisting people in their healing process. The energy that my humanoid body carries is not as strong as my Arcturian body, which is only a gold ball of light, 2 inches in diameter, carries more energy than my humanoid body. And if I need to do something like off-world, because I do that as well. That's another part of, I do a lot of cosmic stuff. So I have to sometimes transform myself into my Arcturian body to be able to do the work.
So you said those seven gold balls of light. You thought they were a different group other than the realm of beings. Is it possible they were nefarious beings who were trying to tempt you
Mm.
to go off?
No, no, because you can feel the energy,
Okay,
and I knew they were coming out of love for me, not to hurt me.
I see.
So the realm of beings, I think it got expanded because I know the realm of beings are not Arcturian.
Hmm.
So it was an Arcturian group. I think the ones that I was talking to in bed, laying next to my husband, that was the realm of beings. The ones who
Oh.
came down from the ceiling, those were Arcturians who were coming to take me back to, I guess, Arcturus or wherever I came from. So that was that set because they came out of love for me as well. But the realm of beings, they have, they're different types of species, sentient species. They have different types of bodies, shapes, and forms. And the realm of beings is a group that they're only pure thought. They
Mm.
don't have corporal bodies. So that's my realm of beings. Mhm.
So, Greta, we've got about another, I don't know, 12, 15 minutes here to talk. And I definitely want to go to find out in a couple minutes here about your new album, In Silence. But I would also like to ask you, you talk about the interconnected nature of all beings and the illusion of separation. This is really in alignment with my studies of A Course in Miracles, a
Of
non
course.
dualistic spirituality that we're in a dream of separation. Can you address that?
You know how I address that? I address it that everyone is the force. Now,
Yes.
who
Hmm.
is the force? Because sometimes when I say force, people say God. And I said, no, it's not the gods, the three gods that create this universe. I said the force is that energy which created the what you call God
Hmm.
or the Elohim or whatever you're into, because it's created all of existence. I say this universe that we have might be universe number 236, but there's a universe out there, 9,510,000, you
Hmm.
see. So because the existence goes into infinity, it is forever.
Right.
Is forever. But because it's the force, we are the force itself. That is what the realm teaches. So that there's no separation whatsoever between the entity that created us and us. We are one with it. We're not part of it. A lot of people want to use the word part. We don't use part. We say you are it, and that you're existing in a duality. And that duality is you being the force and you being personality. That what we're dealing with are our personalities, and that's how we create our reality. And the unconscious is an aspect of the force. There are five aspects to the force: the unconscious, energy, the overall etheric body, the white body, and the incarnate. Those are the five aspects of the force. And we are created, like it says, we're created as its likeness. But see, everything is created in its likeness because everything is energy. The force is energy. Everything, a blade of grass is the force. Everything. So when we're all the force, then there's no separation from us whatsoever because we are in oneness with the force.
If would this be correct to say that the force is omniscient, unconditional love?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, you hit on the mandate for this universe. See, the work that I do is divided up into three sections. I do medical work, that's when we're dealing with the healing aspect with people. We deal with creation of reality, like the album you're coming to talk about is dealing with creation of reality. And then the third work that I do is cosmic, because a lot of times I'm sent out into space to deal with other beings that are not of Earth.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ah,
So the mandate for this universe, the three gods, it is unconditional love. That is the mandate. And that was back, oh, maybe about, I've been doing this work for over 40 years now. So it might have been 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And I was requested to bring the concept to the Universal Federation. Now, the Universal Federation is the governing group of the entire universe. And we brought the idea, they requested me to bring the idea to the group of unconditional love. And so I did that by way of going to the Arcturian Council to get permission to go to the Universal Federation. I was given permission. And then I spoke before the Federation and to, um, to tell them the mandate of the three gods is that we want to be in unconditional love. I told them, I said, I will be back for the answer in 3 days, humanoid time, because
mhm.
everybody's on a whole different situation of time, which is really non-existent. But anyway, I gave them an idea of when I would return. When I returned, 50% of the universe was with unconditional love, 50% was not. Consequently, there were some battles that ensued in space that I had to participate in.
Ooh.
When I participate in things like that, I only give out unconditional love. I don't go and say, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to kill you. You can't kill anybody anyway, so it's a waste of time, really. But I just say, I deal with unconditional love. And there's a lot of other parts to the story that we don't have time for me to talk about right now. But it's definitely unconditional love. We've gotten it down to 9% of the universe is still not functioning under unconditional love.
Hmm.
And so it seems like that's a small number. Like if you look on a pie graph and you think 9%, that'll look like it's very small. But you're talking about zillions of individuals who are still not following unconditional love, 9%. And they're influencing the behavior of individuals here on this planet, in this reality, in this laterality. And I know I'd have to take some time to explain laterality to you, but because Earth exists in many places, but not dimensions, it's in realities. Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna have to do 5 or 6 more shows on this. Well, let's definitely go. I really want to talk about your artistic performances, specifically your new album called In Silence, in which you perform spoken word along with Danielle Heise, performing on
Mhm.
crystal bowls. How did this all come about in the first place?
I started off taking the quotes of the realm of beings and putting them to music. I had different, like Stephen Weiss did two of them for me. Sabina Lilly did another one, and then she couldn't continue. So I said, okay. She said, Greta, I'm getting flooded with all different things that she had to do for herself personally. So I said, don't worry about it. So I put it in on hold doing that. Okay, so we're talking about 5 years before I do this album, right?
Hmm.
So I'm in New York, in the hotel, in my hotel room, because I was part of the New York New Life Expo at that time. And I sat up in bed and it said, you've got to do this. And I'm going, okay. I said, how am I going to do this? What musician am I going to use? And they said, you call Danny. She'll do it with you. So I called her early in the morning. I said, Danny, I said, this has been given to me to do this work and um, and that you're to do the music for it if you want to. And she said, of course, count me in. So then, because we had known each other for a while, and she was one helping me move to different expos and different things like that. So we worked together. I did not know how it was going to form itself. I knew we needed a video, so I called Eugene Bush, who's now my social media manager, and I told him, I said, Eugene, we had done Greta's house. And I said, Eugene, I want to do this work. And I'd like you to uh, do a video of Danielle and I working together. He said, sure, Greta. And I was hesitant to tell him the next part. And I finally did. I worked up enough courage. And I told him, I said, Eugene, I want to do this because I want to win a Grammy.
Yeah.
That's I've been always talking to other people that I facilitated for to say, let's I'll go to the Grammy on your work, just don't forget to invite me, right? And I said, shoot, I'm getting talking to everybody else about winning a Grammy. Maybe I need to say that myself. So he laughed and he said, Greta, I've already won 3 of them.
Compassion is peace, calmness, serenity, and ocean waters that still the spirit. It is an energy that washes away differences and lends itself to the universe to develop contentment and sweetness within itself. Each one of you produces this phenomenal energy as you need it because it is an innate part of your being. Embrace it and cherish it as it is your own. Know and understand that through it, you can move deeper into yourself as you search for the meaning of your life and your inner purpose. So, be courageous as you transfer every part of your essence deeper into your infinity. Recognize your divinity and your wholeness. For there is no fragmentation within your existence. There is only the continuous manifestation of oneness and your truth as the one. Embrace compassion. Savor it as the sustenance of your being and devour its every essence while consciously integrating it into all parts of you, known and unknown. Feel its movement through your bodies and saturate yourself with its energy. Be compassion as you demonstrate its meaning to others and as you relish every moment of its eternal being. As it merges consciously in every minute being of you. Sink deeper into the ocean of its embrace. Align with it as it ebbs and flows through your essence, reminding you that you are only the love of oneness. For in a state of compassion, your spirit can only be aware of unity. There is only the sense of being in tranquil ecstasy, feeling only solidarity with all creatures within the existence of infinity. So, gently flow in the silence of your spirit.
And so we produced an album, which they said, Greta, this is unheard of for this to be done. But we did the album in 13 hours. We did it's 7 pieces on the album. And we did 2 videos that can be found on YouTube.
Yes, I've seen them. Yeah, very
Mhm.
nice.
And so, but prior to that, I did not know what it was going to be. I sat down, everything is channeled to me, and I just find it's like automatic writing,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and I typed everything that I felt. It was like, it's not that they were talking to me, but it was still them. I knew it because I don't see myself separate from them anymore. Like in the beginning, back in the 1970s, they were separate from me, you see, but now they're not. We're just there, even right here, when you and I are having this conversation, they're present, you know. So it turned out to be a page. and 7 topics. And that was it. That was the beginning of it. And then Danielle channeled to know what bowls she was going to use. I told her, I said, do you want to go to 432 hertz? Because we know the 432 hertz is a healing frequency. She said, no, Greta. She said, I'm a purist. The bowls must have their own frequency. So when you're listening to it, you're getting a whole healing experience. You're getting a healing experience by way of the words, because words have frequency. One of the first piece is called In Silence.
Mm-hmm.
At first I didn't even know what the name meant. Everybody asked me, okay, we got this down, so what's going to be the name? I had to go to sleep again, Carl. And I woke up and said In Silence. I said, okay, that's the name of the album. Now, what is it going to look like?
Oh, wow.
I said, it's going to be black with silver letters saying In Silence on it. So I went to a graphic designer and he did the album. It was really, really beautiful experience.
Well, I'm hoping I have time to integrate some of the sound and maybe cut in a little bit of video from your performance into the show with you. And everything you said there, as soon as I saw and heard what you've done, I knew right away it was a sound healing. A frequency healing. And I've had Tom Kenyon on the show who does sound healing, and it's one of my more popular episodes. So what you're doing, again, you really are healing not only yourself, but the world.
Absolutely. Because our publicists, when they came, they asked me, they said, well, how do you see this? I said, this is for the world. Mm-hmm. It is I woke up out of a sleep and I said, that's why we had to do this album, because it's the realm of beings giving an answer to the 9%. So it's not only for this earth and this reality, but it's extending itself outside of this reality as well.
Well, I wish we had more time to talk, Greta. This is just phenomenal. What you are doing is amazing. And what's the best way for people to connect with you? I'm guessing your website?
Well, we're putting a new website together, but they can go on YouTube. The album is on Apple, Spotify, and all other music platforms. So you can find there. It's also on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We have a channel. It's called Dr. Gretta, or you can put in Gretta Chamberlain. We do shorts. We have shorts that we put up every other day, talking about giving. It starts off with a question, like one of them is, what is energy? And then we talk about what is energy? What is the force? What is your relationship to the force? So there are a lot of things, and they can be found on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm also on LinkedIn.
Yes.
As well. Mm-hmm.
And I will put links to your current website and all those other things in the show notes. And whoa, thank you for being on the show, Greta. Amazing. Just keep doing what you do. I mean, the world and the universe is a better place. And thank you to your friends, Realm of Beings. We loved having you here.
Thank you. We're honored to be here with you. This is an honor. Thank you.
This has been another episode of World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with host Carl Gruber, a certified law of attraction life coach. We welcome you to tune in to each and every episode of World Awakenings as we open your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to the truth of all things spiritual, metaphysical, and enlightening, and just how much they play an all-important role in our moment-to-moment daily life. Much love and light to you, my friend, and thank you for tuning into World Awakenings.